Hello YouTubers, I'm bringing you what's happened to my mailbox. I'm an older lady who depends on my mailbox an awful lot in the wintertime because I don't get out in the winter. I have COPD, and according to my bone scan, I have bones from 90 to 100 years old. And the town of Smithfield, Maine, which is where I live, doesn't seem to care what they do to other people's property. This is my mailbox, and the plow just chopped it right in half. As you can see, it's been chopped right in half. Now the town of Smithfield has these 4-foot ditches on the side of the road, so the post has to partly go into the ditch, and it's all according to standards from the post office on how high it has to be and exactly where it has to be and everything in order for you to receive your mail properly. Now, as you can see, of course, it's cut in half. They did hit right through here. It does have an extended arm, and the mailbox goes a little bit more here so the mail can go in. It no longer shuts properly as it should. And according to the town, it doesn't matter if they knock your mailbox down. They're not responsible for it. I always looked at it as, if you knock a mailbox down, it's more or less like a federal offense, but to them, no, you own it yourself, so it's okay. But yet if somebody else leans against your mailbox, it's a federal offense. I had mail in there that came out, so taking mail out of somebody's mailbox, I guess, is not a federal offense. This was surely a hit and run because they didn't even notify me. It was brought to me by my neighbor because both our mailboxes got cut right off. Now this isn't just pushing the snow off to the side. You know, the ditches are 4-foot ditches on both sides of the road. This is the blade of the snowplow cutting it right off. Okay, and the town doesn't feel they're responsible at all. And according to the first selectmen, if they replace my pole, they would have to replace 80 or 90. Well, to me, if you have to replace that many, there's something wrong with who is doing the plowing. And that's when I found out that they subcontract with Kincaid, and he's not going to replace it either. Now I depend on this. In the beginning of winter, I collect all my stamps from the post office so I can just mail my bills and try to live independently from people running to the post office and everything for me all the time. So I try to live independently, but I'm not being able to because they took my pole away. So to go to Norwalk, which is the next town over, you're talking over 7 miles. To go to the town of Smithfield's post office, you're pretty much at the same amount of distance too. So I'm having to be dependent on other people, and this is wrong. They knocked us down. They done damage, just like any other driver who was drunk or whatever, you know, and just knocked a pole down, they would be responsible. But according to the town of Smithfield and Kincaid, who subcontracts with Smithfield, they're not responsible at all. So I feel that as an older lady with such bone issues and COPD and everything, that I am being deprived of properly receiving my mail on time so I can make sure that my bills are paid on a monthly basis as they should. I think this is wrong. I think new legislation should be made so that they can take responsibility for their damages. Because, you know, you can see how long this is. The pole's long as a regular size mailbox and everything. Even extends a little bit more so they have more ditch area and stuff. And actually, you know, if the bus comes down the road and a car comes by, it's quite a tight squeeze, so maybe they should make the road a little bit wider. The mailman does, his tires on the left-hand side, does have to leave the tar in order to put mail in the mailbox and stuff. And it's not where he can drive from, you know, keep driving on the ditch, you know, to get to the next mailbox, because it's a 4 feet ditch. So it's swoove in, put the mail in, and swoove right back out. He can't just continue straight like that because he'd find himself in the ditch. So anyhow, I'm way too old of a lady. And this is how it looks underneath, where they just sliced it right off with the blade. But I feel that the towns should be made responsible. And if there is such a law that they're free to get away with it all, I think that that law needs to change, because this is wrong. You should not be doing this to elderly people. Alright, and that concludes my video. And if you're in any position as a legislator, in the House or a representative in any way, you should do something about this, because this is wrong. This is vandalizing, this is destruction of property, and this is depriving people of being able to receive mail and mail out their bills monthly. And it's stopping people like me from being able to live independently in my own home. Bye-bye now.